What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a little baseball edition of the Spike Week Draft Club. This is gonna be a fun one. I brought my boy Nez on here, and like usual, we're gonna just be talking shop, anything there is about this contest that we need to cover for you guys. If you guys don't know, I'm assuming if you do, since you're here for this stream, but Underdog dropped a MLB playoff contest called the Pennant. And for us D-Gens, MLB D-Gens, I think we're pretty excited. So I know I am. How you doing tonight, Nez?
Oh, doing great, man. Long time no see. Been itching to get back on the stream with you and talk some shop. This is what we've been hoping for since we finally scratched the pre-draft itch. We were hoping we would get one of these once again.
Yep.
For the first time, I guess. And get back to drafting.
Yeah, I know. I've been bugging people at Underdog, talking nonstop the entire summer. I was ready for a playoff contest as soon as we opening day, basically. So I could have been drafting some awesome. Basically, my portfolio would have been no one in the playoffs. So
yeah. I know. Thank God they opened it when they did.
Yeah, like normal. But yeah. So it's gonna be pretty awesome tonight. We're gonna be again talking shop, going through a few drafts. So later on, when we're done, basically going to do everything, we're hoping they do fill the fast a little slow. So we're hoping to get a little, basically the Spike Week Discord and anyone else that can straggle their way in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it'll fill. I think we will get enough D-Gens watching us that we can maybe get one or two of these things popping. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. This is it most likely. I think all of my drafts are going to be basically it's been a couple randoms, and then you just see the badges from the Discord. Yeah, what is going to see?
We love Jack Sawinski. That's Polish pride right there.
How the Pirates doing? I haven't even checked anything.
I didn't want to ruin my mood before the stream. I was in a really good mood, and so I didn't even. I literally have no idea what the score is. I didn't even check. Wanted to be in good tip-top shape.
Yeah, last time I checked, the Twins were down 1-0. So, it's fantastic. Hoping that we can pull it off against those lonely Sox. But yeah, so we're going to go over basically, and I can zoom in here. So we're not everyone. Yeah, we're going to go over just everything there is to do with this playoff contest. It's going to be a little different than your. We talked about this in the mix. It's like a mix of the NHL, NBA, and NFL in the way that their formats are.
Yeah. They share a lot of different similarities. They kind of share from one another. The thing that's similar with the NFL playoff contest is with the gauntlet is you have those bye week teams that if you buy in on them, then you have to deal with the fact that you're not gaining points for that first round. And with this, now we have those bye week teams, but we have more points potentially than relative to the NFL contest. So there's a lot to consider, a lot to get into. So I won't get ahead of myself.
We'll excited. Touch specifically what makes that different. But so just to kick it off, it's going to be $10 at the door. It's a $10 entry fee, 150 max. Just it's all standard playoff contest there. It's again best ball format. It's going to take place in the wild card round, divisional round, championship series, World Series for baseball. How it's breaking down is the first round will be 6-man groups, and they did change that. That's awesome. They did have a typo there where it did say 16-man groups, and that made a lot of us pretty scared. But no, round 2 will also be 6-man groups. And then as well as round 3 being a 310-person final. So little large. But how I suspect half, maybe I should say at least a quarter of those to be almost dead right off the bat with not even being able to field the adequate enough.
If you want to talk about live teams that are looking at like a chance to really win some money, at least a quarter of those teams are going to be dead in the water. At least probably more.
And what Nez was speaking on right away with the buys is in the MLB. Well, I guess we could touch on that right now. So Major League Baseball, they expanded and this is going to be a little sheet here, they expanded their playoffs this year. Previously, it was 10 teams, and that did include a wild card, except it was a single elimination, one game. They did have the byes for the other teams, but it was single elimination, one game wild cards. This year, we've added 2 more teams. Now we have 12 total teams making the playoffs. And how it's going to go is we're going to have 3 division winners from the AL, your AL East, AL Central, AL West, same thing from the NL. This time we're going to have 3 wildcard teams. We will touch on that more. The reason why it makes this more important is Underdog decided to combine the wildcard and divisional series into round 1. Mm-hmm. That makes what you were touching on earlier with the byes in the NFL. They do have the byes, but if I'm remembering correctly, they didn't score any, like they weren't in. You
get a 0 for round 1 for them. Correct. Yeah, I kind of like misplacing my words. Yeah.
And that's what's different here is it is in the wild card. We'll get into this game. It is just a best of 3 series, but if these wild card teams, they do have an advantage of potentially playing a maximum of 8 games versus the team or the top 2 seeds, 1 and 2 will get that bye, can only play 5 because the divisional series is a best of 5. So there'll be 8 total potential games, best of 3, best of 5. And that's what we have to, that's a wrinkle that they added in here. So we'll touch on that more, but round 2 will simply be just the conference series, so the ALCS, NLCS. Round 3 will be the World Series. Mm-hmm. That's pretty straightforward here.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of fun things to think through with that wild card game. I mean,
let's see. So I will get this.
You can get creative like early with some of these builds.
Yeah, that doesn't want to work for me there. Perfect. So the scoring. Let's see if I can back out here. Perfect. So it's going to be a little hard to see because apparently this is the only thing I can get because I don't want to show the score. So the scoring is going to be, bear with me here. I'll read it out loud.
Yeah. There's a point we're getting at.
Is going to be 5 points for pitching wins, 5 points for a quality start. It's going to be 3 points for a strikeout, 3 points for an inning pitched, and then -3 for an earned run. Something to keep in mind. In this format, pitchers are the only ones that can get negative points from earned runs. Batters do not accrue any negative points whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Batters also have 9 different ways to score point, nine scoring categories, and that is and it has a basically go by single, double, triple, home run. It's a progressive payout or a progressive scoring system where it goes 3, 6, 8, and 10. Obviously, on top of that, for an RBI, it's going to be 2, run a 2, walk 3, hit by pitch 3. So basically the same thing. And then I believe stolen base right there is 4.
Love that.
Let's see if I think they have the normal roster right there. Perfect. All right. So if anyone needs to go over that, if not, the rules will be right there. It's standard rules as regular season MLB Best Ball. If you did that, I also shameless plug. Dropped an article that will go over specifically everything that you need to know, including the scoring and all that. You can see that clear. Mm-hmm. The roster, beautifully. Yeah, and the roster makeup here is where we get a little different, quite different. If you want to touch on that versus how it's much different than the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, so for regular season, we are drafting 20 rounds of players, and then fielding 3 pitchers. 3 infielders, 3 outfielders, and then a flex. Whereas now we are drafting 12 players and we're starting half of them here. I believe nope, over half. Sorry, I can't do math.
Here. Let me help you out.
And so we only have 1 infielder, 1 outfielder with the 2 flex. I mean, yeah, perfect. Sorry, it's breaking up there a little bit.
There you go.
But yeah, so with the 3 pitchers scoring here, we have the opportunity to kind of play with the way that pitchers score points and the way that pitchers have been used historically to kind of gain a leverage on the field by still stacking our hitters and getting pitchers through the rounds while also tagging on some of these relievers that are actually getting more innings than people realize.
Yep. When we do a couple drafts, we'll go over this. It'll maybe sound clunky or whatever, which it is. It's a very new format that we're even us. I'm a daily drafter, did hundreds of these best balls. It's almost clunky in the way that you have to draft these and think about the strategy. Eric wrote a great piece on on NBA best ball. I use a lot of great points in my article. When reading that for like the second time, it's you have to thread such a perfectly balanced needle, and we don't know what's right. And we'll get into that more about advancing if you want to go for your full World Series stack. If you want to add in some extra, a couple one-offs here and there, it's very different that we have to navigate this. The prize break or the prize structure. This is what we got: $15K to first, which is pretty nice. Honestly, I like how it seems flatter than what I would have thought. Almost, I like that. But that's your prize structure breakdown. You can check on that more. Will be in the article and on mine as well. I don't know if I need to touch on anything more there specifically.
Well, I think if you want to go down to the prize structure again, like looking at from like 310 up. So just to getting into like game theory and when it comes to drafting. So within like the $310 or the 310 range, which is that cutoff to get into the final round, I believe it's 310 teams.
Yep.
To make it there and not win anything, you win $4 for like entering the tournament. So when drafting these teams, you have to understand that you need at least 7 players that can fill a starting lineup. And they can be from one team, but you need to have at least 7 players from one team or another team or one team or else do you really just want to play this to win $4? So just something to think about.
Yep. And that's right here. I put that in here is how this is how the roster will break down. And the point is to basically, we want to field, like you said, we want to be able to field, first of all, like just enough roster spots is what I think. Like, you want to field the roster spots, and then hopefully you can get the positions in with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you happen to, it would be it would not be ideal, but if you happen to get 4 pitchers through that can score, but then you have only 3 infielders available, and you don't get that outfield spot, it's not great, but you're at least filling as many as you possibly can. But that's how we'll get into this strategy.
But you could have a unique survivor that nobody else has, and if that, it's not impossible. That's what's kind of like, we haven't had a playoff tournament with anything like baseball, because baseball is so random, and you could have guys go on tears, and like if you just have that one guy, you might as well just cut yourself a check.
And that's touching on basically a couple of similarities between the MLB NBA format is they go on series. So one, it's not the NFL. It's not one single game for these. They're technically playing a minimum if you want to. And it's different because the MLB, of course, has to do best of 3, best of 5, and then best of 7, and then best of 7 for their series. They can't keep it simple. But unlike the other sports, so it just plays a different factor in. You have so many more games and so many more variables, and then you add in the possibility of a pitcher getting a 2-start performance in the playoffs. Then you add in relief pitchers. Then you something that's interesting that we found is shout out to baseball who found this, and relief pitchers basically scored quite a bit. All these yellow right here are the top scoring relief pitchers in the postseason last year. And granted, I believe I put that in here. The Houston and Atlanta were decimated in their starting rotation. So small sample, it could just be a fluke. But in the playoffs, like we talked about, baseball is so much more of a different game. Managers are not willing to let a pitcher go out there in a situation in the middle of a July game. If all of a sudden they start getting trouble in the 6th, managers more apt to pull in the postseason and go straight to the bullpen. We can't plan for that, but we do know that is scenarios that do happen. Like, we do know that they have shorter leashes, smaller rotations. They use, there's a lot more do or die games. So they're not just going to be like, oh, we're going to keep riding him. He's our guy. Like, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. So then that's something you got to know when you're going in. It's one of the most random, chaotic games. And then adding it with how this contest breaks down, it's very interesting. So
and I think we have a pretty like top heavy baseball landscape, more than we've had in a while. So there is, like, for me right now, my player pool is like very, very thin. I'm drafting a lot of the same teams right now and waiting to get cute. Like seeing how much I keep drafting, what kind of combinations I'm getting, and then
that's
because I'm still going to get those teams that people know make it now. Like, there's not a lot of closing line value there. Those guys are still going to be borderline free.
Yep. And that's honestly, like, what you just said is I'm doing almost the same thing, and I am adding in some wild card, but I might have to. I'll zoom in further so people can see here. But basically, we have there's a little Google Doc thing. It's imported with all the records, and we get to see who has a chance of basically making the playoffs right now. So basically, this is, you shouldn't be drafting any Red Sox. You shouldn't be drafting any White Sox. I'm a diehard Twins fan. I'm not drafting any Twins yet. Now we'll get into maybe now is the time. We'll get into maybe the time is to dabble in these. I've only done 10 drafts, so I haven't done that yet. I've been just trying to play in the waters, but like the Twins and the Guardians, one of these teams has to win the division. Neither of them are going. We'll go into that later, but you'll see basically these are the teams that are going to go in there. You're going to have the Astros and the Yankees. Most likely are going to be the 1 and 2 seed. Yeah, it's going to be almost locked up unless they go on a
barring something insane. Yeah,
insane. These two are locked up. I'm fairly certain. Now the Braves have made it interesting. So besides the Dodgers have it locked up, but I guess it's the Braves and the Mets that are still vying for. I think maybe we have the records here. 7-9. So they're 3 games back basically. So that's something.
That's. It feels like that's the Mets.
It feels like it has. Been. Yeah.
I don't foresee them losing it. However, it's not over. It's definitely not.
Yeah,
over.
That's the one thing that I would point out right away is Astros, Yankees. Most likely, are you going to be your 1-2 seeds? They're most likely immediately guaranteed only 5 games, maximum 5 games. Dodgers 5 games. It's just good to know this stuff right away when you're drafting.
Absolutely.
These 2 teams are vying. I think they're the only 2 vying for that other. Yeah, there's no one else. I guess the Cardinals.
So that's what I was checking right now, is the Cardinals' chances of supplanting the number 2 seed. And I don't know much about the remaining schedule to make that call, but it would be hard to overcome Atlanta and the Mets. Like, they would get a lot of luck in their favor, but it is the Cardinals, so watch it happen.
Yeah. I know. Eric, if we should we bring up Soto? So how's Dylan Carlson doing? I'm just kidding. But that's something you need. So that immediately, that's good to know. We learned this on. I just learned this right now. Technically, it is a 3-team race vying for that second spot. So I would say Mets, Braves, Cardinals are have that chance to get only 5 games. Other than that, it's going to be your Seattle Mariners, your Rays, Mariners 92% chance to make the playoffs. 70. They're again, barring drastic circumstances where they go on a giant losing streak, teams that need to win in the right spots. We're getting closer and closer to where these teams are almost. Look at this: 99.
I would love to see
99.
The NL is so much better than the AL right now. But I would love to see the Orioles get in here so bad.
I know someone in the Discord, I think, pointed out something about the Orioles. I was like, that would be perfect. It would be poetic, honestly. I would love it. And that's getting into like
for them.
Who we have for these teams is interesting because you can kind of see. Was talking with Nez about this. This is basically just going over. I believe this is simply this is the ALDS. So you can go back. This is Baseball Reference. You can just simply look at what pitchers did things in the ALDS. Like I want to look at games started for the Tampa Bay Rays. These are who the starters were. It's good to know and see realistically what starters, like what innings we're getting from starters, because we need wins and we need quality starts is most likely is what I'm thinking from these pitchers. Obviously a guy going out there and chucking 10 Ks, 8K, 8, 10 Ks would be great and helpful too. But getting that quality start and that win seems like it's going to be crucial. And I think I was talking about this before, is getting the top pitchers on these staffs with the potential to get 2 start games. Something we don't know, but we do know that most likely they're going to start, barring some crazy stuff in the previous series, and then they have to do a rest game. They're going to get the ball twice. They're going to try and get their aces, their top guys.
Like let's say like even in like the worst case scenario for a 2-start hopeful, if Luis Castillo and like if he starts game 1 of the wild card and they win 2-0, and then he has to pitch game 4. Like I think he would probably pitch game 4 or game 5.
Yeah,
or certainly game 5.
I can put that. So yeah, we can. Yeah, you can. Don't laugh at this. We have a little funny thing in here. Yeah, but we're on the work of updating. But you can see the better staff has better pitchers. We can see, better teams are going to have the top tier pitchers most likely. So we're going to have the Verlander, Valdez, the Cole, Cortez. The Mariners have a nasty duo up there with Ray and Castillo. So it's just it's so interesting. And then we'll get into. So I talked about this here, the relievers. And that's something that we don't know. We just don't know what relievers are going to be anything. So like to say, oh, you need to draft relievers. It's like, yes. I mean, we know that the top tier relievers, the guys that are eating up innings are going to get the chance to get in there more often than not. They're going to get 3-4 appearances in there. How viable are they going to be? Are they going to be as viable as these guys last year? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, and you can see it's World Series, World Series, World Series, World Series, NLCS, World Series, World Series, World Series. So, like, you have to get the World Series right. Yeah, so if you have your crystal ball, please let us know. But, like, you have to get the World Series right, and then these guys are going to score a lot of points. So, like,
but,
most likely they'll score.
There's still something to that. I mean, if you're volume drafting, like we said, I know that there's a lot of injuries, but maybe don't go hog wild on relievers, but like, and you're desperate to like add another pitcher there, tag a reliever of like of a team that you've stacked.
I can, I think right here, and I'll zoom in on this, and hopefully it looks nice. But this is one of the teams that I put in the article. I went and did this. So I tagged two relievers right on there on that pitching staff. I obviously did a Mets and a Houston. But that's literally right there. I waited long enough, and the options for me, I didn't like who I had. I didn't want to go with the Mets 4th, 5th line starter. I forget who it was. I think I had David Peterson. I forget who I even had available. Yeah, no. It wasn't who I wanted. So I took their closer, and I'm like, we don't get saves. It's something to know where you don't get the saves, but they have the opportunity to get the win. They have the opportunity to come in there for 2 innings and get 3 Ks. And if a starter is struggling, like it's not guaranteed that these starters are going to outscore. They have to pitch well. Yeah. Like you have to pitch well in order
against
to
the best teams in the league.
And that's why it's just you're getting the best pitchers against what are the best hitters. So it's just, you think like, oh, well, I drafted these, like I drafted Jacob deGrom. It's like, yeah, what if Jacob deGrom gets, what if the team coming out of there, what if he gets the Padres, the Phillies, the Cardinals? I mean, obviously, if he gets the Padres and Phillies, those are pretty nasty lineups that you're getting. It's Jacob deGrom, but
I'm not worried about deGrom, but it's not ideal. I mean,
you're not getting the Cubs, the Diamondbacks, the Giants. Even
he can get hit too.
Yeah, but yeah, you're not getting these teams. You're getting the top tier teams against the top tier pitchers. So just makes it even more wild, which is just very, very, I don't know. It's just so just crazy. It really is crazy. Let's see here.
Yeah, the fact that it's so new have a chance to navigate it for the first time is a lot of fun, and kind of like take stands on what type of build you think could be like successul in something
So
like
these
this.
are
Me personally, I'm mixing in some I'm taking a lot of Cardinals right now. Add because like you get Goldschmidt and Arenado, and
yeah.
I think I feel like they're just going to run. They got that factor about them this year, that Cardinal magic they got. But I take them, and then like the guy that you showed on that last team, Christian Javier. I'm really liking him right now, and I'm hoping that there's some like FUD around him and that he drops a little, because he, I think, is now out of the rotation. But
Talking like
he's
Trey Lance type FUD, or no? Just kidding. I had to bring it. I had to.
Same thing.
That would be perfect. But like he's falling out of the he's bullpen. So
yeah. So now he's gonna. But when he comes out, he doesn't pitch one inning relief appearances. He's coming and he's thrown three innings,
and
and
that's
he's
what he's
giving you
doing
his best
last year.
stuff. Like that's why I like him even more now. Like this is great.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he was doing last year in the playoffs. He was. I mean, he hasn't been a starter until, if not last year, then they've been slowly like getting that arm like lengthened out. But he has been what you said, basically a long reliever, and that's what he's been.
Yeah.
He's been effective and good in that role. So
yeah, love him as a starter, but like when you that's a blessing to have him as a long reliever.
I think, just to confirm how much I do love him, it's only 4 out of 10, or I guess 9 drafts. But yes, I do enjoy my I do enjoy that. And it's so let's see here. I guess if there's nothing else we want to fully touch on.
I mean, no, it's just, just something to keep in mind whenever you're doing your own prep for this, or you're just going in blind. I think you got to understand that because of this top heaviness that we spoke of, you can almost guarantee who the wild card teams are. So when it comes to, doing these builds, you have to just make that conscious decision and keeping in tune with who those teams are. And I don't know, I'm really into adding them into my teams right now. I think that they can potentially make a pretty big difference. So I'm trying to get at least sneak 2 wild cards in on a lot of these teams right now, like I said early on.
Yeah. And I know our boy Dark Sheep, and who's been in the chat, probably in every Discord ever like that's ever available to the public. He's in it, so you probably see him in your Discord. But his early strategy, it could change. He likes to change that early on. He'll probably come in here and post his new strategy. But he was talking about how he wants to target a favorite and get a wild card team right now, and that's strictly for the amount of games that the wildcard teams have. And I guess that's maybe something we should touch on one more time before we go, is like that is a big, if not the most, like the biggest talking point of what you should be focused on is like, if you get, and I've done Dodgers Houston 3 times. I'm okay with that. Like they could get 5 games, but like if you get those teams that in the wild card, like Nez is doing, that get 2 games, 3, or get the 2-3 games in that wild card, and then get those 4 or 5 games in there to get those extra games, and they're scoring more. You're not guaranteed to score more points. Like you have to score the points.
It could very well be a low scoring wild card.
Mm-hmm. I talked about. I mean, again, you can throw any scenario out there. So like me throwing this out there isn't any
a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, it's not anything brilliant or anything like that. But like theoretically, a team like the 2 wildcard game, or the wildcard game in a series to 2 of the teams could be worthless scoring. A team could basically win 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah.
No home runs. Like the pitchers are very great, but the batters do nothing. So like it's a give and take. So basically, or they could kind of be simultaneous where the pitchers aren't great, the batter, certain batters don't score. It's these lower owned. They get through, and then all of a sudden they get swept. They get absolutely demolished by that top team. It's like, well, cool. They did get those extra games, but then the Dodgers just literally swept them in 3 games. And then
assuming those players didn't do anything in those games that they did get swept, but I mean, it's still 3 more games to play.
Exactly. And
so it just depends, But they don't advance, and they're dead weight.
It's just and I like that. I like the again to relay that back. I do like going the wild card team. Like I like to try and get that because you can get them with their ADPs right now, which is something I was just showing before. I changed that, but with the with the ADPs, the way that they kind of line out. I mean, if you typed in, so you're going Cardinals. I mean, look at these ADPs. 20, 33, 65. Like they're free. At Pat, I mean, I think pick 65 is around the end. I haven't done an exact amount of picks. I don't really care about that, but two players are actually
72. It's late, man. It's free.
Yeah. Basically, two players are consistently being drafted on the Cardinals.
And Quintana and Montgomery, I'm not saying they're aces, but like
Philadelphia Phillies have also with that have a 98% chance. So these two teams have a 98. Sorry, my tabs are also good. I have a 98% chance to. Hey, look at this. These two teams have basically 100% chance. They're making the playoffs, barring losing every single game and a team winning every single game they needed, and they're going very late in drafts right now.
Yeah, people are chasing every part of every part of those wild card teams right now.
Yep.
Like the Mets are getting chased out of drafts, so the Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, like the whole lineup, the whole entire lineup. Like Hanser Alberto ADP is probably like 35.
I mean, we got Mookie at 3. We got Mookie at 3. Freeman at Mookie at 2.6. Freeman at 3.8. Trey at 7.9. I mean, these guys are going. You got I think their entire team. Even Blake Trinan has an ADP, and is this dude back yet? Okay, so he's expected,
but I don't want Blake Trinan on my team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I expect James Outman and Trace Thompson to get an ADP at this point. Like, so that is very. It's just something you need to know or something to be cognizant about. Is like these. Okay, so the Twins. Again, like I said, one of the teams in the Central need to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Byron Buxton is sometimes being drafted. There you go.
Never. Hopefully he's back. What's his latest? Is he doing okay?
I believe he's just simply we can check their blur, but it's still going to be. Oh, he could join him on here. So I thought it was still going to be a couple more days. So that's why I figured he just wouldn't join them and then he would join them back. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's something.
Just sit out, buddy.
Yeah, but it all depends, of course, on how many your teams you're drafting and whatnot. But I didn't feel like there was too many. Did you get any insane first day teams before ADP really adjusted?
I saw B Hunley in the chat. All those Buxton shares were worthy. Yeah, all those Bucks. No, actually, those I have not have a Buxton in the playoff. All the regular season Buxton shares are with me, and I'm sad, but no playoff Buxton shares yet. Honestly, the only team right now that's the craziest is the slow draft that I sent you, where I have Mookie and Jordan. And I don't know how that happened. And it was literally from the one pick. So Jordan fell. He could have been a 3rd round pick. I should have done it out of spite, just to be but yeah. So it's just, to look at I think that's one of the most important things besides to know the wild card versus the what teams are going to be in there, the top 2, what teams are going to be getting what games, like the Blue Jays. So I guess to make the playoffs, we have a 65% chance. These are guys still they're going to creep up. I feel like you said, the ADP will start figuring itself out. And people, I feel like once the sharper drafters, people will stop drafting the entire lineup of the Dodgers, although it's not a bad idea. If the Dodgers are one of the most likely teams, again, to make the World Series. So having some low-owned pieces in the line, I like that. I like getting lower-owned guys.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Like if you step into a draft and it happens to be your Dodgers draft, make it one. Absolutely, you should. If you are and it's not also a bad thing in that same vein to try to mix in some of the later Dodgers too. Just to tag them on. But it's all about and we talk about this in DFS as well. Telling yourself a story with the team that you're drafting.
Yep.
And saying, okay, well, I need this team if this team's going to advance, I cannot mix and match too much and get too cute. Otherwise, I'm completely handicapping myself.
Yeah, no, that's exactly in the article here wrote that same thing. Don't need to read it. What he just stated beautifully, which was, and telling yourself a story, telling yourself a story. What's going to happen if this lineup makes it to that advances? It's most likely because of this. And feeding off that, if the Dodgers were to lose in the NLDS, yeah, my brain's all NLDS. This team would have a more likely. Yeah, you can start doing that, but yeah, telling your lineup basically this. The World Series matchup is going to be these two teams. This is what I'm building towards. Like you said it from the beginning. All of you place 310th, you get $4.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro, Rob. We're learning this as we go. It's been a while since I've been behind the driver's seat.
Well, do you remember? Whenever I was sharing my screen the first time we streamed, I think I turned on light mode real quick for no reason. I was like,
oh, did you want me to do that? I can go back to Rob doesn't. I don't think anyone would like that. I put it on dark mode. I use light mode, and I specifically go to dark mode to take a picture.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know why.
That's amazing.
Once everyone started going, you're killing me. I'm like, all right, I'll go to dark mode. I guess I kept it on here for here, but on my phone it's light mode, and I'll just go for a picture quick. So, but let's since hopefully these can fill fast. Let's hop in the draft. Probably we could. I mean, we'll see how many we can hop in. They go fairly quick, so
don't want to take up too many of your shares either. So
yeah. Oh well, we'll be fine here. We'll definitely be able to toss two or three in here, whatever we can get in, because they go. So we need 2 more people. I would say come get our EV or come get the EV, but I don't know how much is in these contests right now.
Yeah, right.
What's going on?
It's always plus EV. It's always plus EV. We're gonna draft someone silly.
So let's see. I'm excited to see who's gonna be in here. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't know who Chip Skylark is, but I see him all of the time.
I know. Are you in here, Chip Skylark? Because I don't know who you are, but I see you everywhere. Please.
So we have I guess I can zoom in. I don't want the.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So you want me to go more? Are we good?
Love that.
All right. Good. So we have the 104. It's gonna be he's lurking. He's for sure just lurking, like probably many others are, and they just see if the non-badge, bro. They just see exactly. They're like, oh, these guys are going in. This is perfect. Like this guy can't even freaking manage screens correctly. So let's see if they can get a pick right.
I'm gonna keep you on the right track.
Yeah,
we're gonna drop the winner.
But I like to say, and I think our boy Jay Warner also who's in the Discord, Spike Week Discord, again, shout out to that. Likes to say, don't go in with a preset plan when you're drafting. That's more so dailies. I would say same thing for here. But maybe have just a loose, think about some different teams that you haven't done. Like you don't have to strictly follow ADP in these contests, at all, especially right now, because they're so crazy.
Yeah.
I guess another thing I didn't talk about, I'll do it right after, there's some guys that are coming back from injury right now, especially from certain teams. That could be. So what are you thinking here? What are you thinking here? Because I have a pretty obvious click.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Mookie if he falls to 4 here every time. I'm drafting him. I'm drafting a Dodgers team this draft. Then that's what I'm doing. I mean, you can't discount those blessings.
I like Mookie too over. It's over the other two because of how many infielders there are on the Dodgers that can produce, and there's so many can do what Mookie does. Yes, you have Belly, he can put up the 200, but Mookie is just it's Mookie Betts. So.
Wow, that was fast. All right.
Oh, all right. I said, these go really quick. I mean, I know we could be on our 10th one in freaking 30 minutes. So
yeah, click Trey Turner before he falls off the board or something. I'm kidding. That's beautiful. That's a great start.
So yeah, I think no, you don't want to go. I think no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, obviously in this we're setting up our World Series matchup. That's the ultimate plan. We'll get into whether it's personal preference. I would say how you want to approach. Do you want to get that ultimate team, super team, to the finals and try and thread that needle? Do you want to draft players to help you advance? And I'm talking like, do you want to do a couple one-offs here and there, like 2 guys from another team, or do you want to stick with just the straight guys from your team? I think it honestly comes down to like what will help you advance and how you want to play it. So, so what are you thinking for AL here?
Yeah, obviously love Kyle Tucker and yeah, go ahead and cue him up and I would probably take Altuve if I wanted to take a Astro here.
Okay,
but I mean, getting Will Smith here for like the super stack isn't too bad. I'd lean Altuve personally.
Okay, for sure.
Because we got the 2.
Love that. My cues have been weird. I don't know. I had a Best Ball Mania. That was a rip that I had a guy. I literally had D'Ernest Johnson in the queue, and next thing you know, Curtis Samuel went, and my heart just shattered. And I'm like, that just ruined that team. So,
oh my god,
it was at the end. There was like, I guess maybe I didn't get it in, but yeah. So I get a little like nervous right here. It's like basically Pete with Tim Patrick in there. So
right, that was a great bit. But Will Smith could potentially make it back. I mean, I think if the team doesn't have any Dodgers on them, they're probably not too inclined to take them. Yep. One thing that Dark Sheep talked about in his stream that I thought was pretty sharp is being aware of the room that you're in and seeing like who is being taken. It on stream it's difficult to multitask. However, it's smart to kind of pay attention to see, okay, what are my neighbors drafting, and like, can I get it on the way back if I wanted to wait on a Dodger? And there goes Will Smith.
So we're building a Houston, like we're building a Houston and Dodgers, obviously. So where do you want to go here?
Well, Bregman makes a lot of sense. We talked about like, the starters and everything and bringing a starter in. I do think that there are some Houston pitchers that we can take later when we want. So I'm Bregman here.
Okay. For sure. I love it. Yeah. So we're obviously, in this one, we're going to be building. Oh, well, yeah. Love that. Cool. Take that off. That had to just, so if anyone multi-drafts on multiple screens, when you have that happen on one screen, it'll have it on every tab that you do. So all of a sudden you'll be on multiple tabs and it'll literally be like, and it won't do it, but it'll just have the notification on every tab. Even though it won't show. So it's like every tab, it's like, is this one actually autopilot? I'm like,
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I haven't multi-tabled in a hot minute, thank God, because I cannot handle that.
So.
Yeah, what are you thinking here?
I would like getting Kershaw here unless we get sniped. I think, yeah. So
is he about to be back?
He's building Dodgers, so I think getting Kershaw.
Is he back yet? I'm so slow to this.
He's coming back this week.
Yeah. Let's take him. He's good.
So by the time playoffs, we're hoping that he should be. So yeah, so I like.
Yeah, this is a fantastic start. I know.
Gonsolin just went on the IL, correct?
Yeah, this guy's. I think that this team is autoing 100% because they're snap picking.
Gotcha.
I'm not concerned about playoff Kershaw. I just want to throw that out there, just let you know. I'm not worried. Not worried about playoff Kershaw.
I'm not either. It's
not on this team.
I mean, I get it. I get the narrative, but I'm not worried. So
he just fits this team. He fits the team so well.
Yeah. I can scroll down to that. So this guy on the end, I can click his team. I think it's B Hunley. So yeah, so we got we mixed in Atlanta. So
I like that.
Yeah. That's I think that we'll go through these teams at the end, but that might be the way to do it. So what are you thinking here? Honestly, for me, it might be.
I'm going to pass on Bellinger, I think.
Okay. So what are you thinking?
So I would really like to mix this up here a little bit. Maybe go Bryce. Maybe go Valdez. Valdez is good too. I like Valdez, but
I can do Bryce. If you want Bryce.
I really like getting Bryce here, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think that with these NL hitters, they add a really fun wrinkle with how the potential swings that they have with some of these guys is like a guy like Bryce getting through would be major. Even if he doesn't advance, just a one-off Bryce could, I believe, make a pretty big difference. And
so
if he
then when this happens and you take an NL and 2 NLs, are you then playing that the Astros are going to the World Series and then one of these 2 NL teams are going to get you through?
I like that. Yeah, exactly. Especially with the Astros, because there's some late targets for the Astros that I like.
Yes, for sure. And I guess we could. And even, one thing that I like to do in my own, I won't do it here. I think it's Davis that will go through and click through all of the guys that are reliable to click through. But honestly, it's something to help you out with here. You can see what guys are still.
Yeah, like on the team. I'm taking Mancini over Pena right now.
For sure. I love Trey Mancini. I love it.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here? And
but I think Fromber for me over. Fromber? I think so. So. I mean, like he's just so dominant. Like he is the guy that he's one of the few guys that can absolutely get you the quality start and hopefully the win.
That's what I was going to touch on. He had that streak of what was it, 20? If he still doesn't have it right now, he has really? This current streak of if any of our baseball guys are in there, come on, he's pretty sure he had 20 straight quality starts.
Good Lord.
So
beast,
or man. Still going
absolute
on what he
beast. Shout out to Go Blue. That's his boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Go Blue posted it. He was just loving it. He was just
I love that. I love that.
Ooh. So we got Mullins and Santander. Okay, so
that's cool.
What are you thinking here?
Let's see. I mean, I do like Javier. I would like to get another outfielder here, but
okay, do you want to do Schwarber?
Yeah, we can get Schwarber on the way back. I think Javier is the pick.
Okay.
You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, and that's why. So, and it's perfect. We're in my brain immediately. I would have already had Cody Bellinger, which is perfect because my brain is thinking, okay, so we're filling up all of these infield slots. Let's get us an outfielder. One thing that we have to remember is that you only start one infielder and one outfielder, and then 2 flex. You only need that one spot covered. And if it's Mookie Betts,
if that's your bet to get there, and then your insurance is that the Astros fill up a hell of a roster against the Phillies. I mean,
I that's it. It's very it's like I don't know. So it's
getting you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Precisely. And I think my first team I added a couple one-offs, and it was we can go through that a little bit. I think it was Julio or J-Rod and then someone else way at the end. I was thinking, all right, let's get these basically let's get these guys to advance. But then it's like, okay, let's think this through. Like how likely is that team to do? It's like, but if you can get that team to advance, get to the next round, here we are, next pick. So what are you thinking here?
That is a good question about baseball. So I think Mancini is probably more likely to go before Schwarber. I mean that I think Hundley could use an infielder, and what's wrong with taking one of the favorites, and he has Jordan, so Pena is not a bad consolation prize for him.
Perfect, I love it. So okay, baseball is a real good question, like you pointed out there. So.
Yeah, so more likely to add a third stack team if the other 2 are like the wild card bye teams. I'm definitely seeking that out because there's the teams that you can pull from, you can get for very cheap and get some very potentially like high swing players like Schwarber potentially and Harper. Guys that could make noise and really like put on a lot of points is kind of for very cheap. So
the Blue Jays lineup. Do we want to go Schwarbs here?
I mean, that would be my pick, but I don't think there's any other Phillies drafters here. So if there's something else you want to take before him, we could probably take a risk. But I would say he's my pick right now.
No. I would say
I think Schwarber. I think Schwarber.
And that's the thing. And with the ADP and the way it's shaking out, so let's see. Because I think Elmidy's Diaz, yeah. So Brantley's out. So it's an interesting play that I like to do with the last round.
He shouldn't even be an outfielder, should he? Isn't he? No, doesn't he play infield?
Yeah. Well, I think he's played some.
Oh, no.
I'll let you answer that.
Did this happen? I can't tell if he's trolling. I had to stay. Is he trolling? I'm literally. I don't have the Pirates game anywhere near me.
I mean,
If he's
I'll just
trolling,
see. I'll
I'm
just go on
done. I'm
ESPN and
done
see
with
if
him
he had
as
a
a
home
friend.
run. They are winning, so I will give you that.
Well, we're in the hole. We're on the clock.
Yeah,
We're
I'll
on deck.
stop
On
looking
deck.
at that. But yeah, he did homer. He did homer indeed.
That's fan goddamn.
So I want to get him out of that queue. All right, what do we want to do here?
So I don't really want a Ledmus. I think I would probably rather take like Gavin Lux or like just stack or pitcher. We got to get a pitcher too. I like Dustin May. I like Dustin May a lot.
Oh God.
So I'm all over the place.
Just get him.
I'll just click draft. Click him.
I'm just getting him out of the queue. I'm just putting him in there. Yeah, there we go.
I'm such a Dustin May stan. I think he's awesome, and I think there's a chance that he gets used in a multi-inning role because he's so fresh off an injury. Like there's a chance that Heaney makes starts and they use May as a long reliever. I think he has. I could go on and on about Dustin May.
Yeah, and that's little intricate things. If you're into baseball, if you follow it quite, like you can think about those scenarios. Basically, like what a starting pitcher being used in that long reliever role, you know, what he's saying, basically, if you're not baseball related at all, don't know anything, Dustin May, who is that? Just a starting pitcher. He's coming back from injury. The Dodgers have, you know, I wouldn't say quite a bit, but they have depth at starting pitcher, so they don't need to use him as a starting pitcher, and they can use him in that basically like Swiss Army knife role, where they can have him come in the most high leverage spots when they need him. Pick 69.
So
nice.
I'm gonna say maybe. Well, do you want to do? I could low key.
So for me, I would go pitcher.
Yeah, I think so.
And I would go Lance McCullers.
I like that. Lance is so nice. I'm so glad he's back.
I like that specifically. I'll draft him so everyone we can get on with this draft. I could just be, my reasoning may be flawed, but it simply could just be because I'm doing we stacked mega. We didn't have it. We didn't get an outfielder from this team, so we're basically banking on getting either the Philly or Mookie Betts for that outfield spot, which is perfectly fine, like we said.
Yeah, with the same league, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have more of the Houston Astros batters, so we're banking on them getting through. We're also then banking on getting the Astros pitchers through. So it would just make more sense to get that Astro starting pitcher. We could have went reliever, a lot of different things we could do. Obviously, I'm a novice, so streaming and doing all this, it's like,
you're doing great, man. But I think, how we drafted, I mean, like right now, like I said at the top, is like early drafts. Like, you know, this is only your 11th draft here. I'm taking these favorites as often as I can right now, and pairing these like these two teams are like 280 and like 390 to win the World Series respectively, that we stacked heavily on. I mean, you might have I'm aiming for these. And agreed. I'm hoping. I mean, they haven't done it yet, but you can see it coming. They've used them like that before. But anytime you can get Dodgers and Astros on a team, that's chalk. And people are trying to do it, but you know, it's not going to be 1-to-1.
Yeah, I'll just say I agree exactly with everything you said, and then with baseball, I like great comparison. I think for Montas being used in this role, so if you just think like they have Cole, Cortez, and then Montas is most likely their number 3. So yes, I think it also comes down to when are these pitchers used and how are they used. I know last year Max Scherzer I'm pretty sure the NLDS was used as out of the bullpen in one of the final games, and he started, of course. He couldn't pitch 2 starts because he pitched one of the last games in the or he pitched the wild card. So that's basically how that. So, you know, different things like that, how they line up. So I think I really think like, yes, the Yankees can use Montas in that role. Will he be? I think it could come down to, for a lot of these teams and a lot of these players, the situation of how the series unfold and when they're using pitchers. So, you know what I mean? Like, the Madison Bumgarner. Remember that? I mean, the dude comes out of he pitching nonstop, comes out of the bullpen. He's going. I mean, it's all of there's different scenarios.
He beat the Pirates in the wild card.
Okay, well, we won't bring that up. Nez is about to log off. No, but it's just so many. Again, we can't hammer. I don't think we can hammer enough how just chaotic and random the sport is. Amplify it with baseball and the fact that it's do or die. And a lot of these managers that we like to just say what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Like, are they managing? Are they using their computer? Are they using a little bit of both? And they just are so hesitant. So
yeah, like when the Rays took out Blake Snell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think
we got some interesting builds here.
Yeah. So hopefully people can see this. So basically we'll go through, I guess I'll zoom in a little bit since I'll scroll.
If you try to hit the pop-out button next to the X.
Right here?
Yeah. You might be able to zoom in and make it look, if you make that full screen, it might, a little bit. Perfect.
Love it. All right, we'll go down. Anyway, our boy Dark Sheep. So let's see what he did. He started off with a little Max Scherzer, Pete Alonso. So he's going Mets. And then he did. I've seen him do this quite a bit. Nah, maybe not quite. At least a couple drafts I've done is where he gets those nice pieces with the pit. I like doing that, getting that.
Yeah, it's an awesome pairing.
And that's unique. I guess I didn't even notice this right away, is that he went Max 101. Not that really even matters. Like, I really don't think it matters that much in terms of ADP. No. So I like that, actually. I like what he did there. He set himself up to guarantee. Then he double tapped 2 Mets.
Yeah, I'll say I like that move as well, because like I don't see the Yankees winning the World Series. Like that is one team that I feel, I know they're likely to get the bye. I just, as a World Series makeup, like I don't really trust them. I barely trust Garrett Cole. And then after that, it's just not. They traded for Montas. He's not even pitching that well. Like we were talking about using him as a long reliever.
Yeah, exactly.
I do worry about the rotation, even when it does get healthy. When they get Cortez and everything, like they have the potential, but I just don't trust them.
They could easily hit their way to it, and we wouldn't be shocked. So again, but
that's an alternative.
So what he did here, so this is an interesting little build here. So he did a Met. He got his starting pitcher from the Mets, 2 big bats, big boppers from it. Filling out 2 positions, and then he goes and he gets 4. I believe it was 4. Yeah, Blue Jays. Where he gets Vlad, Springer, Bichette, Teoscar. Boom. I mean, he solidifies his other side of the bracket. Gets his AL team wild card. They're going to be a wild card. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get those chances, those extra games. Love it. Gets that. If not ace 1B from that team.
Yep.
I mean, it's up to debate. Doesn't really matter. And then he goes and gets the rest of the aces from that team. I really like that. And then he gets 2 one-offs, which I was talking about. Manny and Julio.
Yeah, 2 just like little
just to get you there.
Fuel pads on the rocket that they just fade off once
I like that.
Once they advance.
I like that. We got Chip Skylark here. I think this is going to be a fairly simple
it's a nice team. I mean, it's two favorites,
and that's how you can do a little
secondary little race stack there.
But I think we can check out B Huntley here too. So he's a regular in the Spike Week. So he did a nice.
He went heavy pitcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see here. Perfect. I wasn't scrolling for me.
I do love Strider in these. I would love for them to make the wild card, but.
And then he did a little Baltimore. Oh, yeah, a little Baltimore. There we go.
Cool.
So that's what he did. I love that, actually.
So, yeah.
So he gets his big bopper, Jordan.
Yep. And so that's interesting. Big mix there. You kind of have to really thread the needle there, but there's you got to take the Orioles. You just got to. It's too much fun not to.
All right. Well, then since we gotta take the Orioles, these go so quick. If we can get it to load, let's fire up another one here.
You don't have to. You don't have to put it in your portfolio. I'm just saying, you got to believe.
Oh no, that is something I don't worry about. Let's see. We got 3. If anyone's still, if we still got some people here who want to draft, we'll do one more here. They'll. Perfect. Yeah, I just saying that immediately.
This has been fun.
And maybe we can get we can try and see what a wild card vibe would look like since we stacked up. It was.
So I cut you
Well,
off.
we got the Phillies, so that's right. And I think I saw in here what's the most common build I saw in the chat. To touch on that, yeah. So to touch on that, like from what I've seen, I know honestly I would say 4-4-4 is fair. A lot of people
Definitely.
like to see that
the
4-4-4. Yeah, and they're just like, I love it. Yeah, the Wendy's. I love it. It's safe. I'm covering all that. The reason why right now I like, and honestly you can do any build, why I like maybe 5 pitchers is because you start 3 and you only need, again, one position to fill that. So like for batters you can do any weird combo. Like I think Dark Sheep even talked about it one time, thinking about maybe doing, like, you could do 2 outfielders. You could literally do a 2 outfielder build. If you get 2 big outfielders, just stick with 2.
Like you right now, like if you wanted to, you have a perfect team to try that with Yordan and Mookie and that you got cooking and you're slow. That would be, you could easily.
Yeah, if I didn't double, if Kyle Tucker wasn't there, and
that's true. But I get, there's a chance that combination
perfect
might fall
scenario
in the future.
And that's so, like, yeah, most common build 4-4-4. What is the best build? I know you're not asking that. Definitely nothing.
Yeah.
Definitely there's no best build. There's no I would say the best build is to make sure that you're getting teams from each conference and making sure that your team is, again, like Nez says, telling a story so you can have a team that's in the finals. Make it through these 3 rounds. We have to make it through. You have to win your 6-man group. You have to then win your 6-man group after that. And then you have to then get to the 300, and then you get to the 310 person finals. So, like, boom, simple. Just figure out which teams are going to win and dominate.
Easy game.
Draft 150 lineups like that. Print money.
Easy game.
Easy game. It really. We spent an hour talking strategy, and we could have come in here and just said that.
Oh man,
so.
it could have gone on for another 5.
So
who's going to fall here? I wonder.
We might be stuck, depending on this, is if we get stuck with a Mookie, do we do that again and then do something different with the AL?
I think we have to. Oh, thank God he goes.
And Jay Warner's point of your bat in these contests specifically, if you're passing up these guys, okay, so what are you thinking here?
Well, we didn't go Mets last time, and I love Scherzer and DeGrom. DeGrom.
Which one?
DeGrom for me.
Okay, I was gonna say I would go DeGrom over Scherzer.
Yeah,
I would.
I'm like in autopilot mode. And I'm looking at the ADP, and I'm like, yeah, Scherzer. I knew I wanted a Mets pitcher since we didn't go Mets last time, but obviously DeGrom.
If you get the opportunity, and I guess we might get it here, depending on our boy Chip Skylark, who I swear is lurking. Chip, come out. If he doesn't tap Scherzer, what are your thoughts on going? I guess because that's the only big tandem that you can get this early. Their cost is super high. Does it matter? All these different things. Scherzer, DeGrom together. What are your thoughts?
Here's what I think. If we do this, and I hope the lobby doesn't do this, I think a good idea to bet on is that, like, these teams are, going really thin a pitcher, essentially. Is
I feel like they're going to use, if they're going to use anyone the most, it's going to be Scherzer or DeGrom.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, but we don't have. I mean, we don't have to.
No, I want it. But here's what I'm thinking is that, like, we probably don't want to take too many Mets along with them batter wise, because, like, if we're telling a story that these guys are just like lights out aces, like going, like putting up the best scores, but also like blanking teams, like if they're really crushing.
But then if we do get to the World Series and we do have these 2 guys and most of our batters are then from other teams.
Yeah. The story I'm getting at is, like, we could probably go ham on an AL team, and
for sure
that team has a different path.
Okay. For sure.
Making that opposite team more of the priority, I guess, if that's.
I like it. Because, okay. So those ADPs are pretty
Oh, dude,
pretty
I know.
generous.
That's what I'm
Pretty
saying.
generous.
That's why we can ignore the Mets forever. And
Yeah,
then
I don't
come
think
back and Mark Canha is sitting there. He's not even platooning anymore. He's on fire. Like he's sitting there in your lap.
I mean, what are we doing here with these guys? I won't queue them up, but yeah, we got options. And depending on how these people even go, sheep,
Free game.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
so
Perfect.
I
Okay,
wish
so those are
how
first.
you can sort like team names here that
Yeah.
we could sort by like division, like or leagues. If I could just do like American League, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, you can't do that, folks. For some reason I was thinking, are you telling me we can do this? What are we thinking for AL here?
I got to be honest. I think the Blue Jays are like very fraudulent.
Yep.
We could still like get a lot of Yankees here. We could do it. We could get pretty. So I like them. Let's queue up Julio because like that's fun, even if it's just a one-off. He's fantastic. And I like what we can get with the Mariners. Let's do something here. Let's start with this.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
We don't necessarily need to make this a 2-team team. We can still have some fun in the American League. I got some ideas.
For sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. And like yeah. So okay. So now we have an option here. What do you think? Mm-hmm. You wanna? We don't have to, but yeah.
You might think I'm nuts, but like, what if we sprinkle a little Guardians in?
Okay.
Though I know this is against your team, but
it's got to be Jose Ramirez first, right?
Yeah, that's my first thought here.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna draft him then. Yeah, against my team. One. If we want to be serious, I should be advocating for everyone to to draft the Guardians because I don't think Sheep is just like you fraud. Like you guys, thank you. I'll take
I'll eat that, man. I'm not a Blue Jays believer at all.
That's okay. I'll get loaded up plenty. No, but you know, yeah, I think that's exactly again what third point I'm going on with this. They're not being drafted. Did we just take them super high? Yeah, but they're not being drafted right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Twins, the Guardians, the White Sox.
The type of team that we're building, I think it's gonna. Yeah, we got to get our guys. You know, we only have so many roster spots.
What do you want to do here?
So I love getting Mitch Haniger with Julio.
Okay.
Let's see where the Mets are and how far apart we are from.
Here you go.
I think Nimmo here.
Nimmo?
Yeah, I saw that right there that he's wrestling against a lefty, but I feel like he's hitting leadoff on a Mets team that we think is going to get to the World Series. I mean,
you don't have to say. I was going to say like you could like any one of these guys. If you said any one of those guys up there, besides maybe Tyler McGill, I would Tyler. Yeah, I would have been like Ty maybe now's not your time. But
so we took one of our. So we have Haniger here still available. I think we can. I don't want to take too many Guardians here for you, but we can wait on another Guardian that for sure.
Wait on the Guardian. Are you thinking Haniger? Are you a Haniger guy over Winker?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think
I like Haniger over Winker for sure too.
Yeah.
There, so.
But I think I like Winker over Ty France because Ty France looks lost right now.
True, he did. I see the thing that I'm trying not to put too much into it is we still have a month.
I know.
So we still have I don't want to put any bias. I'm trying not to put
they got Winker batting pretty high in the lineup, and he's got the good side of the platoon. I think it seems like they're asking him to do a little bit more from what.
Yeah, and she posted in here. I do think, and I'll make sure I don't. Yeah, 4 picks away. So I thought that was maybe. Yeah, I guess it's Fangraphs, and this isn't. But fairly similar for World Series odds. It's probably off Sheep. You're probably seeing something different, but yeah, for the World Series odds for the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like, but we can get a lot of these there's still some more guys we can take here to fill out.
So what are you thinking here? Do we want to go Winker and just lock up outfield? Or did you have another position player?
So go to Guardians outfield. I just want to make sure this player isn't really an outfielder. Yeah, I love Jimenez, Rosario, like those guys, Naylor, but Naylor sits against lefties, but these are just guys that I'm thinking for future wise. Because if we got Jose Ramirez here, let's make this the Wild Guardians. Like we should have seen it coming. McKenzie like shows out. He turns on. Bieber isn't a fraud.
I guess it's perfect.
Just telling ourselves the story.
Yeah, I like that. Do we want to get a pitcher? What do you think in here? Do we just want to stick with these guys until the last couple picks?
Who's left from the Mets staff?
I believe not. Oh, jeez, not many. I guess Carrasco.
I would rather take like a Mariner pitcher. I don't know about you, man. Like we made this big bet. Like let's just make this.
You want to do Castillo or Ray?
Castillo, personally.
I ask you, and it's basically exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Ray's hot right now, but just way too up and down.
Dude, he's so. I mean, not that Castillo isn't. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It hasn't been, but yeah, I feel you on that.
I just love Castillo's profile as a pitcher. I love watching him pitch. I'm a sucker for a changeup pitcher. So, and Robbie Ray is grunting on the mound. He's the most violent lefty I've ever seen. I don't like watching. He's good. I don't love watching Robbie Ray pitch though.
Second most violent pitcher on the mound.
We're drafting by aesthetics here. This is 4D chess I'm playing. I want to enjoy the pitchers that I'm drafting. I want to enjoy the way they look when they pitch.
Talking about grunting on the mound, sir. You drafted Max Scherzer.
He's cool when he does it.
Yeah. He's cool okay. That's like
he's got two different colored eyes. He's not all there.
We drafted probably the closest thing to like a serial killer in MLB, and that's the dude is just.
But so grunting aside, Scherzer, fantastic to watch pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they got two just
because so with the Seattle team that we're saying here, I would probably say Suarez over France. I don't know. But I can be talked into obviously Ty France. I mean, this is an absurd outcome. I don't want to make every single pick on this team here,
dude. Like to me, it's just like
let's go.
They're so similar that if you want me to, I'm gonna do it. You've been talking so much that we're just gonna do Ty France. We've been talking so much not Ty France. I'm doing it. That's my one selection for the team.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Mariners World Series team.
When Ty France is the reason, when he goes Eddie Rosario in this playoffs, and he's the reason this team wins.
He could. He's got that power. He won me a lot of money early on with he had a power surge that one night, and that set me good. Yeah,
Warner is very much appreciative of that pick. So he likes us taking France there. So
now I might want to look. So we got I would like to get another pitcher here.
We thinking another Met? Are we thinking Bieber?
Yeah, I could go Carrasco or Bieber. It depends on how crazy we want to get here, and or even Ray.
I did Carrasco. I didn't have the quick finger, and your
I
maybe
could be talking
Ray
to any
wasn't
of those guys. This is a crazy team. This is a crazy team we have.
Your maybe Ray wasn't as convincing as I needed to do that.
Yeah, no.
Snap. You were like maybe Ray.
The Mets are this team only works if the Mets get there, and so we might as well get another Mets pitcher.
Man, wouldn't it be so Mets just to be coming? I mean, how many years have we been talking about the Mets offense? So, and as people, I mean, I was like, I'm just going to go off projections when we're doing season long. I think they're going to be fine. I have a lot of Lindor, but
that was smart. I had no Lindor.
Mets of everyone's just nope. Now this isn't going to be the season. This is going to be when they finally fail. Now they go off. Watching the postseason, just sweep gone. Boom. 3 game sweep. Mets gone.
It would be so Mets, and I hope it doesn't happen. I really don't. I like to watch the Mets, but oh my god, it would just be too on brand. I'd be mad.
It would just be. It would be so poetic. I don't know. What are we thinking here? So we're on the same page.
So speaking of Mets, who do we got left available on that team? McNeil goes. I like Canna, but we already so we could make this a 4-3-5 potentially, and then.
I mean, like I said, we could honestly.
Do we want to?
We'd want to Met. We
could keep. We don't have to pair Jose.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
I think
we can keep him as a one-off.
I think ideally. So Canna, but ideally we'd want a Met infielder. That's my thought. I don't know, maybe not, but
yeah, but I wouldn't want to force a Met infielder. It would be nice, but
do you want to do Canna here for sure?
I think Canna here, and then we can get Suarez on the way back if we wanted. If that's the route we wanted to go to.
Yep, and if we want to do another pitcher, I don't think so. I don't know if we need to do because if we're only filling that one spot and we're banking on getting one of these teams. It's got to be
Ty France there.
Yeah.
Because how many outfielders do we have from the Mets? We have two. I was gonna say we could Escobar or Suarez since we've already got so many Mariners.
I'm gonna do Escobar, man. I think in terms of this team, the way that we're building it, and maybe people in chat they can disagree with me, tell me I'm wrong, speak me off of this. But I think if we're building for that team and we already put the bet on the pitchers, you're going to want as many batters as well on that side.
Yeah.
Not just onslaught it and have but I did a team earlier where we got I had basically a 4-pitcher to or it was a 4-pitcher to it was 4 pitchers to 1, so I had 5 total pitchers. But those 4 pitchers, I only had 2 batters stacked up against, and then the 5 were going against those 5 batters were going against those pitchers. It's like, yes, that's great. And, different things can happen. They won't be, they won't hit off, but maybe in theory, you're trying to get these, you're trying to get those, more pitchers, those 4 pitchers with those 5 batters on the same team. And then I don't know. That's my brain thinking of this whole scenario through.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point. I guess my counter argument would just be filling it. I guess it's just going to depend, I guess, on what team gets there, and because if we had a team like this, I guarantee there's going to be almost no other probably combination with those teams, so it probably took a big upset, so it's probably one of the favorites that they beat, just thinking game theory wise, it would still have the uniqueness versus that negative correlation that I do agree exists.
Yeah, maybe I'm pushing it too far. And at that point, if you get to the finals, this is I don't know. And also, I'm just thinking in terms of that the team that we did. Escobar isn't a 0. The dude is gonna play. Yeah. He's gonna, even if he doesn't start the game.
I like Escobar.
He's Mr. Utility Man. So he can get you those points. I mean, with an ADP of that currently, I mean, that's a unique piece. So many different aspects into this that we just drafted 2 simply crazy different teams, and we can tell ourselves the story of what happens for both team to get through. Yeah. Again, you need the pod. You need to be. You need to hopefully have a good pod that you can do that, and then when you advance to that next group, have that. Hopefully, don't get just a super killer pod where everyone's has great score. So it's so much luck and variance involved, but just again building sound roster construction, not just willy-nilly unstacking, not willing. I think Dark Sheep built a full-on NL stack at one point. Didn't do any AL. Yeah, he. I think he forgot. I think he just wasn't doing. It was like night or something. He texted me. He goes, "Look at this team," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great." He goes, "Do you even notice that it's all NL?" I'm like, "Did not." So, or it was all whatever conference it was. So, yeah. But yeah, I had a great time doing this, man. I think this is going to be such a unique contest, like all these other playoff ones, for drafting and especially the sweat. I think it's refreshing for me. Maybe it's just we're baseball degens. I've done so many NFL drafts. This is just refreshing to be able to do a new draft like this.
Yeah, I love to think outside of the NFL realm right now because it just right now I'm forcing uniqueness. I've definitely slowed up on drafts on the NFL side, but this is just such a fresh way of thinking about drafting right now. And it's going to pick up a lot of steam, I think, once NFL season starts.
Yep.
And now that this is the thing to draft. So we'll see if this thing fills up before lock. We'll see. I don't anticipate much overlay here. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't expect much either. So good luck to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us for both of these drafts. It was a great time. So I think we've been going on for long enough. We'll get out everyone's hair. It was a great night. Nez, it's been a pleasure. But yeah, everyone have a great night, guys. Peace out.